I was out on my first rig before I was 10. A lady who has just left her law business and has opened a bakery, and it's highly successful. Do I want to scale it? Because if I scale it, that's not going to be my pie. I can get on the phone and I can catch Jeff. Right. I can catch you. And that customer immediately trusts the fact that you answer the phone when I called. And not everybody answers the phone. And I think that's the wonderful thing about our careers. If we just keep our blinders wide, wonderful things that can happen. If you don't trust, then you can't run full speed. You can only do that if you really know those companies well.
This is Claude Thorp. He's an expert in building upstream energy teams at scale. From operations to capital projects, to G&A staff, to executive leadership, the teams that Claude builds move in sync as one unit. Today, we are going to glean some insight from an energy industry pro with more than 50 years of experience. Welcome to Wisdom at the Wellhead. This episode of Wisdom at the Wellhead by TotalStream is brought to you by New Tech Global.
Hi, my name is Jeff Dyke. I'm the host of Wisdom at the Wellhead, and we are here today with my co-host, Kevin Fischer.
Welcome. Thank you.
And I'm here with our esteemed guest, Claude Thorp of New Tech Global.
Good
Claude,
to be here.
It's great to have you here. Claude, you've been in the industry a while for oil and gas. Tell me a little bit about your background.
Well, a while really starts with the fact that my family, my father and my grandfather were both in the oil and gas industry, and I was out on my first rig before I was 10.
So you're kind of hereditary with this business.
As hereditary as you can get.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you get into the industry then? What was your transition?
My mother gave birth to me, but
yeah,
but we got to do that. No, I literally knew by the time I was 14 that I was going to work with the family oil company because I loved being out in the field and seeing what my dad and my grandfather did. And so I went to school at the University of Texas in Austin, really, and got a business and finance degree primarily. And I love this family story because my grandfather said, you need to get a degree in something when this business goes to hell, you can go do something else.
Right.
So therefore, if I got a finance degree, maybe I could be a banker someday.
Yeah.
That didn't work out. My father's a geologist, and I was pretty good at math. So I said, Dad, I should be a petroleum engineer. He said, I'm a better drilling engineer than any other petroleum engineer as a geologist. We don't need that. Right. So I ended up getting a business degree, majored in finance, but also got what was very close to today a PLM degree. So business law. I took two semesters of geology. I took 2 semesters of petroleum engineering. They just didn't offer that at that time.
Right.
So I went right out of college, went straight home and reported to the office.
Well, I'll be darned. That's an interesting story to kind of grow up in the family with that. Transition to today. How did you come about to be the business manager for New Tech Global?
And my wife will tell you that occasionally I start my stories pre my birth, and so I hate to. It could be a short story, could be a very long story, but probably key to that is I found in the 80s is when the business got difficult in our business, and I'd been managing a partnership with a shipping company out of Norway, primarily because I didn't mind reporting to them where my father hated doing reports.
Right.
They actually put a fax machine in our office. They had faxes on their ships, and they wanted us to be able to communicate 24 hours a day. And that drove him nuts, the geologist him nuts. So as we wound down, I went to work for that Norwegian shipping company. And then I went to work for one of their partners. And then I went to work for those partners sold an asset in the midstream world. And I went to work for the new buyer of the asset.
Right.
And so I went literally from graduating in 1974 to 1995. I never wrote a resume. I never had an interview for a job. I never had to look for a job.
Yeah.
And then suddenly in 1995, I was in the position for the very first time in my life where I was looking for a job, and I was the trailing spouse as we moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So in your career, you said you graduated with a finance degree and PLM. Did you feel like from up until you start writing your first resume, did you use that degree as much as you thought you would when you were in college?
I did.
Yeah.
I did, and I still use it.
Yeah.
And I think primarily, as we talk around data and some other things, if you don't understand the financial implications of your task,
Yes.
you really are starting behind an 8 ball and don't know how to
Amen.
work.
I
Right?
agree to that. Yeah, we one of our mantras at Total Stream is that we tie the technical to the financial, because that's how you got to run a business.
That's right, and it's not about exactly the right gas lift, or it's not about exactly how you drill a well. It's exactly how you do that, related really to your balance sheet and your profit.
Right. If we're not making money, we've got a hobby that just costs us money.
That's right. That's right.
Excellent.
That's right.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting background. So, transition yourself into New Tech Global. What kind of role do you really play with them? How would you describe Claude Thorp in New Tech Global?
So I'm going to go back to that point where I was looking for a job.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And I ended up starting in the staffing business in Tulsa, Oklahoma, for a company called CDI. They had the national account with the Williams companies, where they provided about 1,000 people, contingent laborers in both IT and technical areas.
Right.
And I became the national account manager there, primarily because I just randomly found them. Right.
Right.
Nothing. Career changes happen.
You
in
stumbled
weird
upon
ways.
it.
I stumbled upon them.
Yeah.
And literally, I was still in Salt Lake City taking the Tulsa paper, and there was an ad for a commercial salesperson by CDI that had a 801 area code. And this was back when area codes actually meant you lived there.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, an 801 area code is Salt Lake City. And that just intrigued me. So I called them on Monday morning. They told me that the reason they had a national account an account with the Williams was it started with Northwest Pipeline in Salt Lake City. And I had been working in the midstream world, and I knew Williams really, really well. In fact, I really thought that's who I was going to work for when I moved to Tulsa.
Yeah.
And the net result is their national account manager, they were wanting to hire a commercial person to sell it around Tulsa. And the net result of that was that the national account manager at the time was an ex-Xerox Tulsa salesman. So they moved him to the commercial position, and they moved me into the national account manager position, telling me that they could teach me staffing, but they couldn't teach me about Williams. And I knew a lot about Williams.
Right.
And so what I found immediately is I love connecting a person with a job or a person with another person, and it's not work.
Yeah.
And so today, to jump to where I am today, is my job at New Tech has been really for the last 18 years to connect our clients who need projects with the right team,
Right.
the right technologies, and the right processes.
Right.
And that's what
And
that's what I do every day, and
that
it
describes Claude.
and it is just as fun doing that as connecting that one person with one job.
Yeah. So New Tech delivers engineering in a wide variety of capabilities that maybe companies find themselves understaffed or under-resourced with in order to accomplish what they need to do to navigate this oil and gas industry.
Yeah, we are primarily our core competency is helping small companies or even larger companies fill the gaps that they don't need full time.
Right.
Right.
So that team building thing that you're talking about is key.
It's certainly key because and one, I'll give you a quick example that we've project we did about 2 years ago. We helped, and you're actually familiar with the Rushmore project,
Right.
That was a 2-person staff
Yeah.
who bought 400 wells, and we through Total Stream's help took over that whole operation within 60 days.
Right.
that's a team of accountants, that's a team of production accountants, that's a team of production engineers, that's a operations manager, that's
Everything from the
that's
back
back
room to the
office, that's
technical.
accounting, and that team needs to be the right connector.
Right.
Right.
Right. That's a little bit of the world you've lived in, Kevin, from your background as a IT / data analyst / everything
Yeah.
on your RKI build up. So what would you ask Claude from your background, having been in the involvement of building RKI?
Actually, what I want to step back and say, and just ask a question here. When you tell me about your career trajectory, do you feel like when you look back at that moment when you took that staffing job was the aha moment in your career? Was it the one that was like, this is what I need to be doing for a living?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And it was unplanned.
Yeah.
It was, and I think that's the wonderful thing about our careers. If we just keep our kind of blinders wide,
Yeah.
it's wonderful things that can happen
Right.
Right.
that were unexpected.
Yeah.
And I enjoy really being around people. Number one,
Right.
I enjoy knowing what you have in common with him,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I enjoy 24/7, regardless of whether there's money flowing through New Tech.
Right. So when you step back and say, like, I've been through several organizations that started really small and built up and sold. If you brought on a new client, and what would be the one piece of advice you'd start with them with and say, no matter what your path is, these are the things you should probably focus on the most?
I think the most important thing is to have some understanding of where you see yourself in 5 or 10 years
Yeah.
as a company. It's not going to be that. It's going to be different. But if you don't have some vision and goal of how big you want to be, how much you want to scale, I've met with clients lately that their goal is also to travel and enjoy life,
Right.
and therefore they love for somebody to help them with the day-to-day headaches of operations.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, they still want to make the financial decision, the capital decisions, the direction decisions. That was their goal.
They want to
Yeah.
know how the clock works. They don't care about the inner workings
No.
of the clock.
Right.
And they want to own the clock.
Yeah. They want to own the clock. They don't care about what's inside the clock.
Yeah.
Owning the clock. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really insightful information, I think, if you take a look back. And I think a lot of people in the business world do this. They don't actually take a step back and say, where do I want to take this? They're so focused on the here and the now, and I got to make profit right now.
Right.
Well, to get to those goals, you got to have some goals along the way to get to where you want to go.
And if you're really leading and owning that company, you've got to you have to think, who do I want to be?
Yeah.
Also,
Right.
and why did I start it here? And do I want to take this in a different way? I actually, in another podcast I was listening to on the way to Austin yesterday, the discussion came from a lady. The question that was asked was from a lady who has just left her law business
Mm-hmm.
and has opened a bakery,
Mm-hmm.
and it's highly successful. Their question was, do I want to scale it?
Yeah.
Because if I scale it, that's not going to be my pie that
Yeah.
I made, right?
Yeah.
But
I once read, do you want this business to work for you, or do you want to work for this business? You got to make that decision how you want to do it.
that's exactly
Yeah.
perfectly put.
Yeah.
And so I think, one of the things that I enjoy about New Tech is long ago, the founders that began to consolidate companies,
Mm-hmm.
they recognized how important it was that the company that they consolidated was started by a founder that cared
Right.
about the consultants, that cared about the clients, and that more than anything communicated that culture to a sustainable staff.
Yeah.
What I mean by that, a staff that
Right.
would go on no matter whether that founder was there.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we have, I think, done an amazing job of merging with companies who the original founders really cared about how the consultants and the clients were treated,
Yes.
Right.
And have a passion for
and
it.
had a passion for that, and push that passion to their employees. And
Yes.
today, we have 130 staff employees, and I'm going to take a wild guess, but I would say 40% have been with one of the founder companies
Mm-hmm.
over 10 years.
Okay.
I've been there
That's good.
18 years.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Right.
but you do that because you like where you are,
Right.
right? And your beliefs are aligned with your company's beliefs.
Right.
So does New Tech Global, in your portfolio of services, do you offer just engineering services, or is it the whole plethora of back office and everything in between?
We have 5 different service lines.
Okay.
3 of them are really around putting one person to work where somebody needs them to work,
Mm-hmm.
wherever that is.
Yep.
All right. Did you see that
Yeah.
on film? That's 3.
That's
three.
I saw your 3. I was going to let it down.
We do fuzzy math.
And then we have 2 that are more solutions based.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
And so our part of our venture service line is really where we're putting one person to work for upstream operators.
Right.
There, if I remember the numbers close, last year we supported 132 clients in
Okay.
6 different basins,
Mhm.
just in that group. We have our staffing group, which uses a lot of the same people, but all of the same skill sets
Yeah.
and processes to support industries other than the upstream operations industry. So
Okay.
manufacturing, IT, Igloo
Yeah.
is one of our bigger clients here in town.
Okay.
And it's still putting a contingent laborer to work.
Mm-hmm.
And that staffing group also does full-time placements
Yeah.
for all industries, whether it's upstream operators
Okay.
or that. And we do that nationally, not locally.
Right.
We have clients in Michigan, we have clients in Florida, we have clients on the East Coast.
Oh, great.
Okay. Then we have an international group that takes those same skill sets and works them internationally, where we've placed 2,500 full-time or contingent labor folks in places all 6 continents.
Yeah.
We have physical offices in Dubai, Guyana, Mexico.
Okay.
So that's our staffing group.
Yep.
That makes sense. Then within our solutions group, we have an environmental and regulatory firm. Was purchased by New Tech Global 2012. It was CAR International. Now it's NTG Environmental.
Mm-hmm.
That provides all of the solutions around emissions, around regulatory, around remediation, those types of things.
Which in every day becomes more and more important.
More and more important. And then the Auburn firm, which I directly work for, we combined with our environmental firm, we can provide anything any function an oil and gas operator needs. And many of those functions you don't need 24/7, 365.
Right.
You know, our core of that business is small deal guys, two land guys and a geologist who want to drill 3 wells.
Yeah.
But think about how that scales up.
Yeah.
So if you think in terms of competition, real competition, there's a lot of people in that first space.
Yeah, for sure.
And still we're one of the bigger ones just in the first space.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of people who have also the first 2 spaces
Right.
together, but there are some.
Yeah.
There's some big international companies, but there's not a lot of U.S. companies that have such a big international presence that we do. And when you get to adding the environmental piece,
Mm-hmm.
now I think you're getting to 2 or 3 companies
Yeah,
that are like that.
for sure.
Then when you add the fact that we can provide accounting and
all that back
all of
office
that
work.
back office stuff, now I really would challenge anybody to say that there is any single company that competes with us that way, especially the fact that we have partnerships like with Total Stream and other companies that bring even more capabilities to that.
You know, I'd really like to dive into that partnership thing you talked about, because I think that's an important aspect. But before we do, let's cut away so we can hear from our sponsors.
New Tech Global has been around a long time, for 25 years now. We do really 3 major things. We have a division that recruits, staffs, provides contract contingent talent for oil and gas companies and other industries as well. We have a environmental division, which is a full service environmental services division mainly for oil and gas, but other industries as well. And we also have a project management, asset management division that we call Auburn, who do projects and asset management for the oil and gas industry.
NTG Environmental is a full-service environmental, regulatory, and health and safety consultant. Fits into the services that NewTek Global provides by being the environmental and regulatory asset. We partner with a few of the other companies to be that arm that they often are missing in their services.
Total Stream Systems delivers end-to-end operational intelligence for the oil and gas industry. Our platform unifies production, asset, and financial data into one intuitive interface so operators can make faster, smarter decisions. From real-time monitoring to automated reporting, we help companies optimize production, reduce costs, and improve compliance without adding complexity. In short, we turn your operational data into actionable insights that drive performance and profitability. If you're interested in learning more about Total Stream Systems, come check us out at totalstream.com, or you can connect with us on LinkedIn. We'd love to chat with you and learn more about your organization.
Claude, we were talking before the break how partnerships played a part in how important they are with NewTek Global and the people you do business with, so that you know that you bring the right resources together, not only internally with your company, but also maybe with outside companies. Tell me a little bit about that.
So specifically around NTG Auburn and our goal of being able to provide our client with whatever function they might need, we always knew that say 30% or 40% of those functions we could take care of with staff in-house. Right? Yeah. We always knew that maybe another 20 or 30% of those functions we could take care of by going to single consultants that we knew, right? But some functions like, and I'm going to, geoscience is one area that we've worked in where the really right talent is sitting in another firm that we've partnered with. We weren't going to go out and develop what Total Stream had developed. And
Right.
yet we needed that function that our clients were going to require, and we needed that expertise. And so we wanted to partner with that firm, partner with you, which has been wonderful. We've also got a partnership with SLB's Digital and Integration Group where we have access to certain engineering tools. So partnerships are a key part of that ability to provide every function. You can't do it all in-house because not all functions are needed all the time. Right. And so we really appreciate the Total Stream partnership, the Ops Geologic partnership, which is our geologic partnership, because we're primarily an engineering firm, and it's critical to how we work. Now, the important part of those partnerships is to know each other so well that I know what you would do if a client asked me, right?
And what you're really saying is we've had a lot of conversations.
We've had a lot of
And
conversations.
we've ideated on many things.
And I think we're multiple clients. Same thing with Baker
Right.
Tilly, our accounting partners.
Right.
They've been on with us on so many projects. We know how the accounting fits with Total Stream. We know how that fits with our clients. And
Right.
So when you say this, it maybe I make sure I'm understanding you right. When you're out looking for a partner, that biggest attribute as that partner that you're looking for is maybe trust. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if you don't trust, then you can't run full speed.
Right.
Right.
When you're trying to build that trust with a person, how do you think that relays to the customers that you have? Say you have a customer that you bring Total Stream on board. How do you feel like that trust goes with them?
I'm going to use kind of a simple example.
Yeah.
If a need like Total Stream comes up in a meeting,
Mm-hmm.
I can get on the phone and I can catch Jeff.
Right.
I can catch you.
Yeah.
And that customer immediately trusts the fact that you answered the phone
Right.
when I called.
Yeah.
That means, not everybody answers the phone.
Yeah. Sometimes the little things go a long way.
That's just a small indication of trust.
Yeah.
Jeff almost always called at 10 o'clock on Fridays. So whether he needed to talk to me or not.
Yeah.
But I knew that and I trusted that.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if you're going to connect people to work together, whether it's two people and a consultant, a client, whether it's Total Stream and one of our clients, you can only do that if you really know those companies well.
Right.
Knowing them well is not reading
Their bio.
their
on their
bio.
website.
It's not. It has nothing to do about. It's what do they feel? What do they really want to?
Right.
What are their goals?
Yeah.
It's the same way with knowing clients. Do our clients they like PDP production or do they like to drill appraisal wells?
Right.
If
Right.
you don't understand that, you don't know what they need.
Yes.
And relationships and continuity is a lot to that.
It's 80%, 90%, maybe even 99% of the value that we have at NewTek is those 15, 20-year-old people who've had relationships forever.
Right.
It's the same long-term relationships with our partners.
Yeah.
Right.
Our relationship with SLB is now a 15, 18-year relationship,
Right.
Yeah.
and
And over
and-
those years, you build trust that you know is rock solid.
yeah. And you build trust usually where you really get the trust is when you get in a situation where your head might spin around and you throw up guacamole and you don't,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
And because all projects, all things are not smooth. Nothing's smooth.
Yeah. That's why they have plan A and plan B.
Plan B, right?
Yeah, correct.
We're coming to a time when we need to end this podcast this time, Claude. We'd love to have you on again and dive deeper into things like data transitions and AI and how that's going to impact the future. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
For being
Thanks
with
both
us.
of you.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to more podcasts. And if you'd like to subscribe to our podcast, click the link below and message us. And we'd love to hear from you.